who back now? Guess who back? The general. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The general is here. The general is here for you, ladies and gentlemen. General Voltard is here, and I could not be more excited to be talking to you today. Live on Voltard 2. Woo, ladies and gentlemen, Tennessee basketball is dominating. Lou, we're ranked number 1, Lou. We're ranked number 1 in basketball, Lou. Suck on that, Lou. Suck on that, Lou. Georgia can't win a game. Georgia can't win a game, and Tennessee is ranked number 1 in basketball, Lou. Lou, I'm gonna tell him about it.
Man, you can't even name one player on the team.
What the hell? I can't, Lou. I can. They got that one. They got that military. What's that military guy's name? They got. I know. Don't tell me, Lou. Don't tell me. It's Colonel Sanders.
What?
No, that's not. No, what's his name? No, Lieutenant Dan.
No.
Captain Obvious.
No.
That's not, General Lee.
No.
Oh my God, my head's good. That's not. Oh, Admiral Schofield. Admiral Schofield is the best player in America, Lou. And the Tennessee's going all the way. We're gonna make our first Final Four, Lou. Write it down. Take a screenshot. Email it. Text message it. Make a video. Balls on top. Balls on top.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, and I'm live for you on LouTube today. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it also. And two, in addition to that as well, welcome to Coffee Talk. Yep, another episode of Coffee Talk up today. If you don't know what this is, I picked 2 or 3 stories that are going on in the world of sports or in other places, and I talk about them for you while I drink coffee too. Yeah, good morning though. NFL officiating. Officiating in general, really, right? Now, I have been for a while now. In fact, I looked on the channel and I found the video, and it was from, I think, 3 seasons ago, where I made a video saying we need full-time officials, right? These referees who are selling insurance, 8 months out of the year, and then refereeing NFL or college football games the other 3 or 4 months of the year. I just don't think that's right. The NFL and college football, the conferences, however you want to break it down in college, there is plenty of money being made, right? No one disputes this. There is plenty of money being made in the NFL and in college football to have full-time officials. Pay them like teachers, right? Decide whatever it is that full-time officiating is worth for that 3.5, 4, 5 months, whatever it is. Decide how much that's worth, divide that by 12, and pay these officials once a month and let them be full-time officials, right? This is what they do with teachers. Teachers don't work in the summer, right? But they can opt to get paid year-round. Teachers have an option. You can get paid 12 times a year, 9 times a year, whatever. At least I think that's the way it works. It used to work that way here. I don't know if it still works that way. But anyway, the point is, you're saying, well, they only work 3 or 4 months a year. Okay, fine. Decide what that is worth. Decide what that is worth and pay them accordingly. The idea of part-time officials is just absolutely ridiculous. Now, to the NFL's credit, they did finally, this year, 2018, make some officials full-time employees of the NFL. 24 of them. That's not nearly enough. How many teams are in the NFL? 32? 32, right? So on a weekend where all 32 teams are playing, that's 16 games. How many officials are there per game? 6, 7, 8. You include replay officials, alternate officials who are on the sideline in case somebody gets hurt, whatever. 10? Let's say 10 officials per game at 16 games per weekend. That's 160 officials. The NFL has a grand total of 24 full-time officials. Now, nothing is going to solve the problem of human error. Nothing. You're going to have human error. But it's just ridiculous to think that a full-time official couldn't possibly do better than a part-time official, in my opinion. Let them train the 4 or 5 months during the off season, right? Whether that's watching game tape and, okay, what would you call here? What would you do there? How should this have been called? Whatever it is, figure it out, right? Have some mock games. You can do it with flag football even. I mean, it doesn't have to be where you're getting NFL players out in April and May and making them have fake games so the officials can practice. The point is, smart people should be able to figure this out. We need full-time officials for every single NFL game, and we need full-time officials in college football too. Now, it would be much harder in college football, much harder, because there are way more teams in college football than there are in the NFL. I mean, you got 14 teams in the SEC, 10 teams in the Big 12, 14 teams in the Big 10. I mean, you're looking at, an average of about 12 teams per conference in the Power 5. That's 60, so about 60 teams in the Power 5. If they all play in a weekend and you need 10, I mean, that's 600 officials you're paying for. So I get it. It's a lot harder to do that in college. Leave it up to the conferences if that's what the NCAA wants to do. Let the SEC hire full-time officials, or at least at least college could go to what the NFL did in 2018 and have some full-time officials, right? If you can't, I find it hard to believe there's anything college football can't afford to do. But if they want to use the money argument as to why they can't hire hundreds of full-time officials, fine. But there should be 1, 2, 3, whatever the number is, there should be some amount of full-time officials calling every single Power 5 football game in America. Now, like I said, nothing you do in terms of full-time officials or training or anything is ever going to solve the problem of judgment and human error and missed call. You're never going to get it all 100% right. I mean, that's just the nature of officiating. Obviously, you have what happened in the NFC Championship game this past weekend, and listen, it was a blown call. Now, I'm not going down the road of, well, that cost the Saints the game. It's real easy to look at a call at the very end of a close game, right, and say that call cost them the game. Well, you can go back and watch the game. There were a lot of missed calls on both teams. Multiple face masks against the Rams that weren't called. The last Rams possession where they did they end up kicking a field goal to tie it? I think is what they did. There was an obvious face mask call that was not called that would have given the Rams 1st and goal on the 1-yard line. It wasn't called. There were multiple missed calls, and this happens in every single game. Obviously, like at the end of a game, when it's that obvious, it's easy to point at it and say that cost such and such team the game. But the point is, there's calls missed in every game. But you need to have full-time officials. I mean, these people are running around from February through July selling insurance, Big Macs, used Lincolns, whatever it is they're doing. They need to be full-time officials, trained in the off-season, official games during the regular season. It's past time. There's more than enough. Let's just move. I could talk about this for, let's just move on. What's wrong with Todd Gurley? I honestly don't know. Listen, whether you hate Georgia, hate the Rams, love the Rams, whatever, if you pay any attention at all to the NFL, it's obvious to anybody with a set of eyes, Todd Gurley has been one of the best players in the NFL over the last couple of years. He was offensive MVP last year, wasn't he? Yeah, I believe he was. He won Rookie of the year before that. I mean, the guy has been an elite player. He just signed a contract making him the highest paid running back in the history of the NFL in terms of average yearly salary. The guy is an absolute elite running back, elite player, one of the top 5 or 10 players in the NFL over the last couple of years. I don't see how anybody could argue otherwise. But he didn't show up this past weekend for the NFC Championship game in New Orleans. Now, he was hurt towards the end of the season, a knee injury, nothing too serious, but he was held out of a couple of games at the end of the year, and he was listed on the injury report towards the end of the year with a knee. Now, according to everything the Rams said, and everything Todd Gurley said, and everything head coach Sean McVay said heading into the NFC Championship game and after the NFC Championship game, Todd Gurley was 100% healthy. Do you take them at their word? Well, who knows? I mean, just because a coach and a player tells me they're healthy doesn't necessarily mean I believe that. But he did start the game, right? He did play in the fourth quarter. So it seems like he was healthy, right? He played bad. He played bad. I think, what did he finish with? 4 or 5 yards, something like that. You go in, I think his first play from scrimmage, he lost 4 yards, and then either on that same possession or the next possession, they threw him a pass and went right through his hands. Saints intercepted it. The very next possession when the Rams had the ball, another pass his way went right through his hands. That one wasn't intercepted. And that was when he came out of the game, right? And you started seeing a lot of C.J. Anderson in the second and third quarter, and even the fourth quarter. Gurley did play some in the fourth quarter, but you've got one of the best players in the NFL, one of the best running backs in the league, one of your highest paid players, the league MVP from the previous season, a guy that's top 5 in the NFL in rushing yards, top 5 in the NFL in all-purpose yards, a guy that led the NFL in scoring this year. You're in the NFC Championship game. It's the third and fourth quarter. The game is on the line, and he's on the sideline. Something is up. Is the knee hurt worse than we thought? It's hard to think that when he started the game. So, okay, he must be healthy. He started. You don't think the injury got worse during the game because, yes, they took him out, but he played the remainder of the game sparingly, but he played. He was in the fourth quarter, so it's not like he was healthy going into the game, re-aggravated it in the first quarter, and then they benched him the rest of the game. He was out there in the fourth quarter. So what could it be? Is there something going on outside of football that had him mentally distracted? Is he upset about something? I honestly don't know, but if you've watched Todd Gurley play football over the last couple of years and you watch the NFC Championship game, no matter how big of a Georgia homer you are, and I am, something was off with Todd Gurley. Now, he's got a couple of weeks to get it figured out, and the Rams have a couple of weeks to get it figured out, whatever it is. Before the Super Bowl against the Patriots here in, 12 days from now. But hard to justify giving this guy all that money that they did. Then you bring in C.J. Anderson towards the end of the year, and, I mean, C.J. Anderson looked like a better player in the NFC Championship game. You can't argue that. You can't deny that. Do I think C.J. Anderson is a better running back than Todd Gurley? No. But something is going on. What is it? I don't know. And we may not know. We're going to have to. I don't expect the Rams to come out and make any sort of mind-blowing announcement about, well, Todd Gurley, we're deactivating Todd Gurley, or we're trading him, or we're releasing him. Or I mean, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to give the Patriots any more information than they have to. I don't blame them. We're going to have to just wait another 10 days and see what happens in the Super Bowl. But if the Rams want to win the Super Bowl, they need Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley is one of the best players in the NFL, and the Patriots are the Patriots. And if you're going to beat Tom Brady and the Patriots in a Super Bowl, you need all your best players to play their best game. And if you're a Rams fan, that includes Todd Gurley. Well, the SEC officially has a new basketball school, don't they? The Tennessee Vols. What are they so happy? Are they ranked #1? January Madness champions. Everybody looks forward to college basketball season, right? Can't wait till March Madness. There's nothing more boring than college basketball regular season, is there? No, not really. It's probably the most boring regular season of any major sport in America, in my opinion. Maybe baseball's up there somewhere, but regular season college basketball is almost pointless and meaningless, right? How many teams make the NCAA tournament now? 68 or something like that, 65, whatever it is. Regular season, meaningless. And you're talking about a team here, Tennessee, who, of course, can't win a bowl game, can't even make a bowl game. Their football team is just gone. And so now they're all out of the woodwork now, pretending to be lifelong basketball fans because they're ranked #1 in January. So congratulations to Tennessee, January Madness basketball champions. Listen, you got a good basketball team. I mean, what do you want me to say? I don't know. People keep saying, oh, well, you see, Lou ain't got nothing to say about Tennessee basketball. What do you want me to say? You playing good basketball in January. You're still talking about a program in Tennessee that has never made a Final Four, period, in its entire existence. And you can say what you want about Georgia basketball, and yes, we've been bad the majority of our existence. Georgia has a Final Four. So, look at Lou talking about Final Fours back in 1983. 1983 is more recent than never, sir. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, lady, but Georgia has a Final Four and you don't. So, if you want to get taken seriously in the world of college basketball, make a Final. Look at Gonzaga. Gonzaga's considered a basketball powerhouse, right? They've never won a national title, but they've made some Final Fours and a bunch of tournament runs, right? Can we see Tennessee get past round 2 of the NCAA tournament this year without losing to some 95-year-old nun on the first row against a team no one's ever heard of? Who was that? Loyola or whoever that was? I don't even know who that was. That was worse than the Virginia Tech losing to Old Dominion. But anyway, the point is this. Hats off to Tennessee. Congratulations. You guys are having a good season in basketball. I'm happy for you. I mean, listen, I give Tennessee a hard time, but there's a lot of Tennessee fans that watch this channel, and I like almost all of you that watch this channel. So, you know, I'm happy for people like BVD and Vol Roadshow and the rest of you guys, Tennessee fans who have stuck with this channel over the last several years when, in all reality, your football team has been pretty irrelevant. You've stuck around. So I'm happy for you guys that you have a basketball team that you're able to get excited about. And I wish you good luck. I mean, Georgia's not doing anything this year, and you guys know I'm an SEC homer. So, you know, when the tournament comes around, if Tennessee goes on a run, it won't be the worst thing in the world that's ever happened for me. But it would be nice to see Tennessee make at least one Final Four.
Admiral Schofield! Admiral Schofield is the best player in American news! And the Tennessee's going on
Good morning.
We're gonna make our first
Good
Final Four
morning.
right now!
Good
Make a
morning.
screenshot, email it, text message it,
Good
make a video,
morning.
balls on
Good
top,
morning.
balls on
Good
top!
morning.
Oh, my God. I'm out of breath.